Morphing is the process of changing from one model to another. It's a fairly tricky problem to solve if the two objects are quite different. For example, if I want to morph a cube into a unicorn model, I'll have to create a bunch of vertices on the cube and decide how these move in a convincing way. Much simpler is to interpolate between two meshes with the same number of vertices. In this case, linear interpolation between the two meshes is trivial. A more general approach uses what are called morph targets or key poses. A simple example is a smile. Say we have three poses, a neutral pose, a smile, and a frown. To go from one to the other, we can interpolate. Essentially, the key poses are similar to keyframes to interpolate between. By changing the amount of influence a particular target has affects the result. For example, I could specify a half smile by saying to have each vertex be half the neutral pose, half the smile pose. A further advantage of morph targets is that they can be combined. For example, I could have key poses for an eyebrow and use it as I wish with a smile or frown. A pose can be associated with parts of a mesh and so influence only them. For example, here I'm using the wonderful Ginger demo by Stickman Ventures. There are sliders set on many different facial features. By changing a setting, I'm changing the influence of the morph target. Even skinned models can be exported and treated as morph targets. Morph targets are well supported by Three.js and so are a popular way to display animated models. The main drawback on the modeling end is that it's labor-intensive to create morph targets. The whole process of setting up a character's animation controls is called rigging, and one that takes skill and time to do properly. Such processes are almost always done with interactive modeling and animation programs. Another drawback is that morphing needs much more data than skinning while running an animation, both to download and to keep in the GPU's memory. All that said, morphing has the advantage of being generic. Any model changes can be saved into morph targets, and there's no real ambiguity. Skinning can and is done in a myriad different ways, with research continuing to find new techniques. Lots of tears have been shed by many developers trying to convert skinning animations from one format to another.